Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Move with the Military. I'm Michelle Leisman, your host, and I have the beautiful Christine Chandler with us. Christine is a realtor in the Fort Campbell area. She's with Veteran Realty Services. And, I've had the pleasure of working with Christine, and how you represent your clients and the passion is just unbelievable. So kudos to that. How did you tell us your story a little bit? How did you get into real estate? Just all the good stuff about you.
So I decided to get into real estate because I had my first little boy and I was missing so much working an 8 to 4 job of his school and everything. And my husband also works full time. So we were missing a lot. And I decided that real estate will give me the freedom to be able to be present with my family and still allow me to do what I like to do.
Yeah. And how you guys have how many kids do you have?
We have 3. I have 11-year-old boy and 7-year-old twin girls.
Oh, that's fun. I always wanted to be a twin. I wanted to be an identical twin so we could play pranks on people.
They are identical twins.
Do they play pranks on people?
No, my twin refuses to do it, even though I have begged her to do it.
How fun would that be, right?
Yeah, but I feel like they don't even look identical, really. Anyway.
Yeah, well, Mama sees them all day long,
Yeah.
so you can see their personality through their eyes, I'm sure. So, how long have you been in real estate?
I want to say this is my 6th year. I can't even keep up anymore.
Right, kind of all runs
My
together.
6th or 5th year in Tennessee, and I'm also licensed in Kentucky for 3 or 4 years.
Okay, and you live on the Tennessee side?
I do live on the Tennessee side. I live in Clarksville.
Clarksville. So we've done a TV episode highlighting Clarksville. So I've been there. It is such a cool area. The murals on the walls in the downtown area are super cool.
Yeah, I like them. I like this area. My husband's actually born and raised here, so anything I don't know, he will tell me because I'm originally from Germany. So I've been here a long time though. I've been here since 7th grade. So
Okay.
I've been here a while, but there's still areas that I'm like, I didn't even know this existed.
Now, that's the beauty of it, though, right? Living in an area where you get to explore and find new things.
Yeah.
So, Germany, tell us
Yeah.
about that.
Well, I actually go back and forth quite a bit, especially lately. My Oma still lives over there. She's by herself now. So either I go by myself or my family and I go. We're over there quite a bit, but that doesn't mean I don't still work because I feel like every time we go on vacation, that's when we get the busiest.
That's
or
right.
when we're out of town. But yeah, I've lived there, or I lived there, went to school there, speak the language.
Was that part of, is that just where your whole family's from? What brought you to the States?
My dad was military.
Okay. Well, thank you for his service. So you're a military brat?
Yes.
And did he get stationed there at Fort Campbell?
Yes. We started, when I was born. I was born in Texas, actually.
Really?
Yes, but I know nothing about Texas because I haven't been back. But I was born in Texas, and then we moved to Germany, and we lived there for a really long time. And then we went to South Carolina for 2 or 3 years, and then we've been here ever since at Fort Campbell.
Wow. What a neat experience. What a neat experience.
We like to move a lot, though, like most military families.
Yeah, that 4 times in
Well, yes, I guess if you count the first. I just don't count it because I was a baby.
You don't remember it, right?
No.
Yeah. What do you, so it's interesting. A lot of the other realtors and community partners within the app that we talk to are military spouses or veterans themselves. So having the perspective of the PCS process from a child of the service is such a unique aspect. Like what would you want to share, right, with the viewers of from your perspective growing up PCSing and making those moves?
Um, it can be hard. I wasn't one to make friends easy because I don't like change.
Mm-hmm. Oh, even
So
harder.
it can be hard on the kids, moving all the time, having to start over. Honestly, I can't even imagine my son having to try to start over because he is so set in his ways. It's it's really, I mean, it's really great what these kids get put through with being military, especially going to different countries. But also, it's great because you get to see all these new things. I mean, I think it's so weird when people say they've never been out of the country.
Right?
And I'm like, what do you mean you've never been out of the country? We used to vacation in Spain. What are you talking about?
Yep.
Like we've been to so many countries. So even when we go visit, we try to hit another country while we're there. So my kids get the same kind of experience I did growing up because not being military now, I do remember that. And I do remember being able to visit a lot of different places. And I was like, really sad that I wouldn't be able to give that to my kids, but we ended up being able to do so anyway.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I mean the culture, and that that's always one thing that I come from a very small community, very small, and there's some people that have never left. They've been here, they travel a little bit, but it's experiencing so many other places is one um, aspect I think of military life that I would love personally. But to your point with the kids, there's probably so much of a preparation process that the parents should start early if possible, right? Sometimes you don't have that luxury to help those that transition. And there are support, there's support out there for that, but being cognitive of it for sure. So
Though I feel like moving probably isn't as hard as missing your parent that's deployed all the time. That's where I always had a rough time,
missing the parent.
missing my parent. But and then seeing the other parent, for me it was my mom that was home, but seeing the other parent having to solo parent
Yeah.
the whole time and then trying to get back into rhythm when everybody's back home because your whole lifestyle changes. So it's like
Right.
all these moving parts that kids just got to go with the flow, really don't have a say or anything.
Yeah. Makes you resilient. That's for sure. Does make you resilient. Well, let's talk about the area and the community. Clarksville. It's probably the biggest or most well known, I would say, city that surrounds that's near Fort Campbell. I think Oak Grove is probably another one. But what would you say is some of the hot spots that families would look at around Fort Campbell?
Well, um, uh, around Fort Campbell, we also have Nashville.
So
Nashville,
how far is that? How far is Nashville from there?
just about an hour.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad. So you got Broadway, you got stuff that you can get into there all the time. They just opened a whole bunch of new things like a indoor playground for adults, putt putting, outdoor malls, indoor malls.
Oh,
There's
in Nashville?
a bunch of stuff in Nashville, yes.
Wow.
So we have several local owned businesses, which I like. We have a Thirsty Goat, which reminds me a lot of like a beer garden from Europe.
Oh, yeah.
Um, uh,
Go.
and we have a lot of um, military members here in town that also bring businesses like out of their home. Um, we have people that make soaps, and we have Miss Lucille's here, which is um, a giant store, I guess, but has booths in it. And so, like people that have their local businesses, they can either go in there and set up a booth and do stuff like that. So that's nice. And of course, we have our normal things that you see everywhere else in the US. But we do have quite a bit of local things as well. And our community tries to help with local businesses and franchises as well. Or local, I guess local franchise wouldn't really be a thing, right?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, there's some franchises that aren't like national, like a McDonald's, right? But they're still locally owned. But yeah, those locally owned Miss Lucille's. So I actually let's talk about that for a second, which is unique. I literally last night, ironically, had a conversation with a friend of mine that has a building in our area that someone's opening that same concept.
Mhm.
So I explain it almost like it's an indoor farmers market type, right? But it allows these small businesses that maybe can't afford a storefront and or they can't work the retail store because I don't know how Miss Lucille's is set up, but the concept of this one is there will be one person that checks out anyone that comes through, and I'm sure there's some sort of a split. But is that how Miss Lucille's is set up also?
Yes, I think they have like 2 or 3 people that check people out, but it's all at the front, and then it just goes by vendor and booth,
I love
and
that.
they write everything down, so it's very organized, very good, set up really nice. Actually, um, like when I do closing baskets
Mm-hmm.
or when I do them, but I haven't in a while anymore, done the candles, but I there's a candle shop in Miss Lucille's, Clarksville Candle Co., and I love their fall scent. So at one
Mm-hmm.
point, I had them make me jars of that scent, and they put my sticker on it, my logo on it, and so I was able to pass those out for client appreciation gifts or closing gifts, and that way I was able to also support locally
Right.
and back into the community.
Yes. Well, and it gives those small businesses an opportunity to test the market
Mhm.
without going broke, right? And more people can support more local small businesses.
Mhm.
I absolutely love that concept. What would you say is unique about the real estate market in your area?
Oh, that's hard. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's unique because I feel like there's kind of something for everyone.
Uh-huh.
Either you have Kentucky where you get more bang for your buck. You have Tennessee side, it's a little bit more expensive. Um, but you're in Tennessee. You also have different areas. You have like country living, you have city living. You can live in between Clarksville and Nashville. I feel like there's just so many different areas that are
Hmm.
and like you can price accordingly.
Yeah.
So I think, and we have so many schools, and we have really good school zones too that aren't only in like the good areas. If you know,
Right.
so which also is helpful because not everybody can afford a bougie house to have a good school zone.
Right.
So,
So do you help your clients? I would presume, like, um, a lot of times I would assume that a family that's PCSing in might not have enough time to do all of the in-depth research, and especially if you've got that many schools in that locale. So whenever you do, what would you say your approach is whenever you are contacted by a military member that's PCSing in, they don't know anything about the area? How do you go through that process to help them kind of figure out those pockets that they might want to land in?
I actually have a welcome guide. I do need to update it, but I do have a welcome guide that still works for now as well. And with that, going back to the schools, I know about the schools very well. Um, I was the first graduating class in one of the schools.
Oh,
I
neat.
went to another school. My sister was in two different schools. My husband was born and raised here, went to the same school, and he comes from a long line of educators who also became
Oh,
educators
yeah.
here. And then my husband actually works in the school system right now. And then I was subbing for a little while too in the schools. So like I feel very confident when I try to help them narrow down with schools.
Mm-hmm.
I actually helped one of my clients move from Germany, and I was able to help them get a job working at one of the schools because I had some connections.
Yeah.
But I was able to do that for them, which is great. So um, I do I do that. And then of course, the community guide. But nothing's gonna be better than going online actually and hopping on one of the Clarksville chat pages because everybody has an opinion
Yeah,
and everybody's gonna tell you.
absolutely. Whether you ask
Because,
or not, right?
because as realtors, we're only allowed to do so much legally. So if you want to know more, the best advice is to always go on the Clarksville chat, ask what you need to know, and they will tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
All right, so let's give the viewers that information. What's the top Clarksville chat to go on? What's the name of the Facebook group?
Their Clarksville chat, there's like
Oh,
six
that's the name of
Clarksville
it?
chat groups. Yes, it's Clarksville chat. And
Okay.
that is where you want to go. Everybody and their mama's on there.
And so really that's not just for the city of Clarksville. That's for all like if you go on there and ask about the school districts, they'll give you all the surrounding ones, I presume, as
Yeah.
well.
So because it is for Clarksville, it is mainly about Clarksville. There's also an Army Wise page. It's run by another agent, but there is a good source of information on that. It's called the Fort Campbell Army Wise page. And then there's two of them. I want to say one is run by the agent, I know for sure, and the other one it's Army Wise of Fort Campbell. That one is run by an agent, and then Army or
Because there's so many so and trying to bring all the resources together, right, and kind of give our military members and families these insights because there's so much out there. So it's like, okay, I don't want to add myself to a plethora of different pages and be bombarded. What are the top ones? So we got the Army Wives of Fort Campbell, we got the Clarksville chat, and then what's the other one?
the other one's the Fort Campbell Army Wives page, and um, they have a good wealth of knowledge as well because there's so many. The Army Wives page is good because it's Army wives or Army spouses. Really, that's for anybody. It's for male or female. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so if spouses, obviously, like if you need help moving or wanting to know about a different base or things like that, um, that one's really good. They also ask for a lot of divorce lawyers on there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the Clarksville chat is really good for Clarksville community to learn about that. And ask any questions about Clarksville community because you have more of your locals on there. You still have Army people in there, but you have more locals giving you local input
Yeah.
about the area.
Excellent. I love it. Well, you are a wealth of knowledge. You are a service-driven individual. I know you're very passionate to help and give back and just make that transition ease. So also you'll have to send me the link. You may have already once upon a time, but send me the link to your PCS guide, and we will put that in here as well for people. And then if you guys, anybody is moving to Fort Campbell, just maybe have questions for Christine based off of her experience, you can reach out to her. Her information will be next. But always, always a pleasure. I got to get down there. We got to go to Thirsty Goat.
Black Horse, so you gotta come for 2 days.
Okay.
Also a good one.
Black Forest.
Black Horse.
Black Horse. All right. So
Cheese.
Black Horse. Absolutely. We will make it a trip. So as always, thank you so much for your time and all you do for the military community and really just your community in general. You're
Thank you.
such a blessing. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. Again, have any questions? Fort Campbell, Christine's your gal, and we appreciate your time. So everybody have a great day.
Bye.